Thanks, Lena. Okay, so we're going to start off, and I'm going to review the cards that I pulled for this week. And then, Kat, I'll ask for your feedback, and vice versa. Then you go ahead and I'll comment. And I think before we get started, we're just going to let everybody know that this is Sacred Sundays, and what we typically do is we're going to review the week tarot reading. It consists of 3 cards. We both pulled cards separately, and we'll see if the messages have any alignment going on. And then once that's all done and over with, we'll ask one of the viewers, if they want a free tarot reading towards the end. We're trying to keep this to a very quick time limit, to 30 minutes maximum, because, we all have an attention span of a goldfish lately. So we need to make sure that we're we're all paying attention, including myself. Mm-hmm. All right. So the deck that I'm using is called the Light Seers Tarot. And the first card that I pulled, and let's see if you can see it here, is the Judgment card. And the Judgment card is number 20 on the Major Arcana. And so for those of you that don't know the Major Arcana, they are life lessons, so karmic. So whenever a card from the Major Arcana comes up, it is really trying to teach you a lesson, okay? And Judgment is really all about, it's almost like a resurrection. It's like a calling. What else like an uprising in a way, okay? So if you can see the image, you can almost see there's like the soul is coming out of this person. It's almost like an awakening. So following that card, we've got the Ace of Cups in the reversed position, okay? Now, let's talk about it in the upright position for a second. And the Ace of Cups in the upright position, it is an emotional card. It's a water element. It's really all about love, okay? Now, let's see. Is there a glare here? Okay. So we'll look at that. Now, and it's also about new beginnings, love, new relationships. And in the reverse position, it's kind of almost the opposite. So it could mean that you're not ready for something new, that you're stuck, being able to go into that step of finding something new, finding a new love, a new passion, okay? And then lastly, following the Ace of Cups in the reverse position, I have the 3 of Swords in the reverse position as well. So the 3 of Swords in the upright position is all about the heart. It's about hurt. It is, Swords is about a thought process. It's about the throat chakra. It's about communicating the truth. However, you can see that there's a heart here, and the swords are going through it. So this basically what this card is trying to tell you is there's a lot of hurt, a lot of backstabbing, that kind of thing. But I pulled it in the reverse position. So in the reverse position, we have almost the opposite meaning. It's about release and forgiveness. Okay. Now, when I look at all 3 cards together, so let me try to hold them all up here for everyone to see. Okay. Let's do that. All right. So where are we here? 1, 2, and 3 for the week. So what I'm trying to see is that there is a calling for you guys this week. You're going to feel it. You're going to know what it is. It's going to slap you in the face. But the problem is everybody is kind of in a holding pattern, okay? There may have been a recent loss, some kind of turmoil in a relationship that's causing, this emotional pain in a sense. And you need to release, and you need to release and forgive that to be able to move on, to go to this calling. Okay, so we're a little bit stuck in a holding pattern this week, but just remember, you have to forgive and release what's going on. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to move forward. So what do you think of those cards, Kat?
So interesting. I'm getting, so right off the bat, you lead with a karmic major arcana to set the tone for everything else, which I find fascinating. It's like the cards that you've pulled are giving sort of a state of things this week for the collective. Like, this is where you're at. These are some of the issues that some people that are watching this are probably going to resonate very strongly with that yes, I'm stuck. Yes, I'm not trusting in my relationships, and I'm having a hard time getting started. And yes, there's a lot of reflection and soul searching that has to be done. Whereas the cards I pulled seem to be providing the advice. Where your cards are providing the state of things, my cards are providing the advice. And it'll be interesting to see when we tie this all up at the end, how that all sizes up. Fascinating.
Interesting. I'm loving this so far. Okay, so let's see what you've got for this week.
Yeah.
And see how everything ties in.
So I'm using my Aquarian Tarot. It's my deck that I've had for decades. And I didn't pull any major arcana. Everything I pulled was just about this week, the week ahead, just sort of transactional things that we have to keep in mind. And the first card that I pulled, everything I pulled was upright, by the way, no reversals.
Good.
First card I pulled was the Two of Cups. So the Two of Cups, playing off of your reverse Ace of Cups, tells us that for us to be successful this week, we need to partner up. We need to, there's somebody that's in your sphere, in your orbit, that is seeing the world the same way that you are, whether it's a spouse or just a best friend or a coworker or just somebody in your space that maybe you've been talking to them, maybe you've been bouncing ideas off each other and you're both sort of in the same headspace. This is the time to form that partnership. This is the time to work with that person. When you come together with someone that has the same mindset as you and you're both focused on the same goal, your efforts don't pay off doubly. They pay off in spades. It's the math of the universe. It's not doubling the effort, it's infinitely expanding the effort. So anything that you're doing, whether it's inner work or just trying to some self-improvement or starting some new habits or just trying to get right with everything, starting a new practice, you're going to have more success if you pair up with someone this week. So that's what the Two of Cups. So I found that interesting. And then the second card that I pulled was the Queen of Rods or Wand. My deck calls it Rods. It's Wands. And the Queen of Wands is at the Queen in the court is the role in the entire court that's established, maybe hasn't achieved full mastery yet, but is very, very effective at what they do. And wands are all about action. So this is a good week for you to start making some steps towards, again, once you've got your partnership solidified, now's the time for action. Start working on those projects and those initiatives and some of those things that you've been procrastinating on. This is the time for action. And the Queen reassures us that we have the ability to make some good effort this week. So, and the wands, the suit of wands is representative of the new moon, and we are moving into a new moon on Thursday. It's the 11th, Thursday, right?
Yep, Thursday. Yep.
So she brings new moon energy, which is a good time in the moon cycle to start projects or make a big dent in that work.
Yeah.
So time for action is now. Partner up, take action. And then my third card, the Knight of Pentacles. So as much as you're going to be taking action when it comes to your finances and your resources, it's time to take stock. It's time to look at what you have and rein back on the spending a little bit. Look at maybe saving up for the future. Look at maybe taking some money out of the bank and putting it in a sock drawer, whatever, stocking up on extra supplies. The knights in the court card usually mean quick action, but this knight's the exception. He means and Pentacles especially, it's earth energy. It's about planning and organizing and reflecting. And so take the time, in addition to all of the other things you're doing, take the time to also reflect on the resources that you have and how well stocked up you are. And if there's any other prep that you have to do, now's the time to do it. So partnership, action, and reflection is on the menu this week, according to the cards that I've pulled. What do you have to say about those, Steve?
So again, it makes perfect sense. If you can hold them up quickly again, so we can go through it. So yes, exactly. You've got the Two of Cups. And to me, when I see a Two of Cups, you typically think of a relationship or partnership developing. It's really also about finding that passion between the two people to move to the next step of what your cards are trying to say. So your next card after that is the Queen. And the Queen is really, she's sitting on her throne. Like you mentioned, she's experienced, she's done a lot of other things going on. It is about creativity. It's about fire. It's got that passion in there, right? So when you got the Two of Cups and the Queen of Wands together, there's a lot of creativity and a lot of passion going together. And then you've got the last card that's trying to tell you, you know what? All these ideas are coming through. You want to get things done, but slow it down. Like you mentioned, the Knight of Pentacles is about slowing it down. It is about finances. But sometimes, you know, in this reading for me, it really is about slowing down that progression towards these new ideas and these new projects. Think them through, because you don't want to dive into them head on and then it's just going to crash and burn.
Especially
right?
if spending is involved. Yes.
Exactly. Exactly. So I think, you know, we have a little bit of a common theme. You know, really, your cards seem to be the calling, right? That this Judgment card is trying to say that, you know what, go ahead, move forward, find that partner, find that relationship for that project that you need to work on, but they're still stuck. So the forgiveness needs to happen. And maybe, you know, you've been burnt before in the past by a relationship or a partner, and that's what's causing this holding pattern, right? So we need to just move forward and then get right into Kat's cards. So then that way we can develop what we need to develop. What about you? What do you think between all 6 cards?
Yeah, the Judgment, the Judgment piece. I don't know. I think that there's just a lot happening in the collective right now.
Yeah.
And I think the Judgment speaks to the fact that people are starting to, well, the awakening and the consciousness raising that's happening right now is snowballing. And so as it progresses, it becomes, it expands more and more, like things do when they're rolling along very quickly. And these things have a way of really becoming very, very big, very quick. And so I think the Judgment card just reminds us that, okay, it's time for us to now, you know, we know this has been happening for a while, but there's going to come a point where we're going to have to put some skin in the game, and it's going to be some tough decisions being made, some relationships, maybe some people coming out and leaving your life while new people come in. It's all about how you're resonating and who you're pulling in while your consciousness is raising. And you will have new people coming in, but again, like your cards say, the reason I think the Judgment sets the tone is because the other 2 cards in reverse are like, so your cup being upside down, yeah, it's going to feel like that. Spiritual awakenings are not relaxing days at the spa. These are uncomfortable, physically, mentally, spiritually uncomfortable experiences. They're not, you know, all that they're cut out to be. So there's going to be some mistakes made. There's going to be some false starts. There's going to be some incorrect assumptions and some hurt feelings. But then you've got your 3 of Swords showing, okay, you know, yep, it's not as obviously as bad as if it was upright, but it's still saying, yep, okay, there's going to be some feelings there, But this is all part of what the Judgment card is saying we have in store for us this week. So for some of us, this is going to be the beginning. For others, it's just another step in the journey, but it's time to now face the music.
Agreed. Well said. Okay. I do see a comment here from Josie. Josie Core Creation. It says, "Hi Steve, do you see a loving relationship coming to me this year?" Well, that's interesting. And that might require more than a one card pull that we typically do here. So yeah, you might just, Josie, like message me privately after the session and we can talk about that. But for now, what Kat and I will typically do is we will both pull one card and do a reading for somebody. So if there is anyone that wants to do a one card pull, a quick reading for you, Kat and I will pull one and we'll see what message we do come up with. So all you have to do, all you have to do is put a comment in the section, you know, an emoji, anything, me. All right, Intuitive Arts, AJ. All right, so AJ is looking for a quick one card pull from both Kat and myself. So give me 1 second while I, for me please, for this week. Okay, let's see what comes up, AJ.
So does AJ have a question, or we're just pulling a card to see what the cards want to tell him?
We're just gonna pull a card to see what the cards are telling him, and he's asking for this week.
What's up with
so let's see.
AJ this week?
Okay. So we'll just wait for a card to pop out for Kat. Sometimes, you know, it's funny. Sometimes when we shuffle the cards, it comes out right away. And then other times it just takes a while.
I'm ready.
Okay. So the card that I got actually for AJ is a Major Arcana card this week. Okay. Your life lesson. And I love this card. And I'm not going to go by the generic meaning. Okay. It's the Hierophant. Okay. So AJ, this like really, because I know you, this really reminds me of you. So you can see the guy here, he's just meditating, he's doing his yoga pose, and you can see the staircase behind him leading to the light. So to me, this card, it really is all about spirituality. So what you need to do this week is focus on that spirituality. You want to climb that staircase to reach the light. I know that's what you do on a constant basis, especially with your sound healing and sound therapy sessions that you put on. So yes, keep practicing that, because you know eventually it will pay off. You're on the journey to enlightenment. We all are. And I think you're 10 steps ahead of the game, to be quite honest. And how about Kat? What did you pull?
We have the 8 of Swords. So this is a card where maybe you're feeling like you've been unfairly restrained, or your situation is maybe not as bad as you think it is. Because like if you look at this card and the swords, this person is bound and blindfolded, but they're also surrounded by items that could cut their binds. So you may be in a prison of your own making right now. You may be in your headspace. And don't forget, thoughts will create the world around you. So if you don't get good at managing those thoughts, they will take you to some dark or unhelpful places sometimes. So I think the card is reminding you that you are the master of your thoughts. and that you need to choose them wisely. And if you're feeling any kind of depression or anxiety, depression usually means you're living in the past. Anxiety means you're living in the future, but maybe you should be living in the present where true happiness is. I think that's the message from my deck for you,
Yeah.
Jay.
And when I see the two cards together, what I really see is, you've got a minor arcana card. So that to me, AJ, is really, that's like a little bump in the road, right? It's nothing big. It's small. It's a day-to-day thing. And, like Kat said, you might be doing that to yourself in a sense of caging yourself in, tying yourself in, thinking that, maybe things might not be going as well as you want them to, but don't think that way, because the major arcana card here is really the major player, and the major player is trying to tell you, keep focusing on that journey that you're on with that spirituality. That's what you need to focus on, and let everything else just float away.
The universe has a plan. It may not be your plan, right? Like you have an idea about where you want to go in life, and we all do. And we have this, we like to think we're in control, but as much as we think we are, we're not. And you can manifest a desired end goal, but how you get there may not be the route. You may take a different route than you think you're going to take. It's some of this is all divine guidance. So, and the Hierophant does represent divinity to a certain higher power. So I think these cards are saying there is a plan for you, and you're on your way to it, but it's maybe not going to go the way you thought. And maybe you need to just choose your thoughts and attitude around that, because you could be stalling your journey otherwise.
Perfect. And AJ is saying a few comments. He's thanking us. Very interesting. I do see some relevance. And he's like, gotcha. So we do have time for one more, and it's Josie. She's asking about, my house is going on the market. So she just, in this month. So she wants us to pull one card each, and I think we can do that for you, Josie. Just give me 1 second, because I dropped a card. Okay. All right. You're very welcome, AJ. Maybe
Dropped
you got
a whole
one.
bunch of cards. What's that?
And I'm still shuffling. Josie, this is going to be an interesting one.
It went under my chair. Okay.
All right. I'm going to try my second way of picking a card, because the shuffling is not working. So let's try something. No, I'm going to try my second way.
So while you're doing that,
got it.
I've got the Knight of Cups. So there's a lot of emotion around this house sale. I don't know if maybe you've been hemming and hawing about making the sale, or, if it was something that you had to do, maybe didn't want to do. But so the Knight is he's the young member of the court. He's the cup is the card of emotions and just feelings and whatnot surrounding a situation. So I think Knights are fast moving. So it's probably there's going to be some action on this. Now that you've made the decision to sell, the Knight signifies action, but there is some emotion around that. And so whether it's good or bad, it's one card, it's kind of hard to tell, but definitely be prepared for a bit of a roller coaster through the process. It is kind of a tough time of year to be listing a house, so there's that. But there is going to be some action on this. It may not be the action you're looking for, but things will probably happen fairly quickly now that you've decided to list the house. Anything you want to add to that, Steve?
Yeah. So the card that I picked, and this is going to make more sense now, Kat,
Okay.
is the Four of Wands. Okay.
Mm.
So you're going to see here the Four of Wands. You can see almost like the tent in the background. This card really is all about celebration. It's like victory. It's almost like a homecoming. So I think you're going to get some good news. Now, Wands is a card that moves very quickly. It's a fire element. So, and Kat's card is a cup. So on a scale of timing, you've got Wands is number 1, Swords is number 2, Cups is 3, and Pentacles is 4. Okay. So I look at Wands as days, Swords as weeks, and Cups as months. Okay.
Yeah.
So it could be anywhere between, so you said you're going to put the house on the market this coming year. It's going to me, in my opinion, from these two cards, it's going to sell. Okay. So if the timeline continues the way we are going, you're going to get some kind of victory regarding your house. Okay. What do you think, Kat, now that you see both cards?
Yeah. So yeah, yours, can I just see, was it Wands? It was Wands, right?
Yes, Four of Wands.
Very fast moving. Wands are ruled by fire. Knights are also ruled by fire, which is why knight cards generally mean faster moving. This is a cup knight card though, so there's signifying the emotion around it. If this was a Knight of Wands, it would be different. It would be like all about, oh my God, this house is going to sell right away. But the emotion around this is what's just tempering the speed a little bit, like Steve says. So yeah, so the Four of Wands is a great card. So yeah, it's looking really positive, I would say, Josie. Just be prepared to, have to guard your heart a little bit, and just release and trust in the universe that things are going to work out the way they're meant to.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let us know if that resonates with you, Josie. And yes, I'm attached to my house. Yes.
Yeah. A lot of memories, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Josie. It's a stressful time.
Yes.
I've been there. We've all
Good
been
luck.
there. Mm-hmm.
All right. So just in closing, so Sacred Sundays, both Kat and myself will be doing this every week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll talk quickly about myself. I'm an energy healer, tarot reader, and sound therapy with the crystal bowls. Kat?
Yeah, and I'm an energy healer as well. I'm a Holy Fire Reiki master. I'm an animal Reiki master, so I also treat people and pets. And I'm a permaculturalist, so I also cultivate food and life, and I make my own. I'm a bit of a hearth witch. I make my own household products, my own soaps, my own shampoos, and I'm all about connecting with nature. So, and I also read the tarot because everybody, I think, should. Tarot's a great intuitive tool, and I think if you're here and you're interested, Steve is an amazing tarot teacher and coach. You should definitely speak to him about learning tarot. And I'm so glad to be here, and I'm so glad you all tuned in, and I hope you found it an enjoyable way to spend your Sunday evening.
Okay. And until next week, Kat, I want to say thank you. And I can't wait for next week.
Yeah, me too. Looking forward to it.
Okay. Take care, everybody.
Thanks again, everyone. Bye for
Bye-bye.
now.